continue our Italian cruise in this video with a sea day. The plan was to relax, explore the ship, and enjoy some of the many activities on offer. Next up was the Amalfi Coast, our most anticipated stop of the trip. And then off to Sicily to visit the scenic town of Taormina. Rough weather would throw a monkey wrench into that plan, however, and we would have to roll with the punches.
We absolutely love sea days. When you have a jam-packed itinerary like this one, it gives you the perfect chance to just catch your breath. Plus, it gives you plenty of time to enjoy a cocktail, or three, some amazing food, and everything the ship has to offer. For our first sea day on the Celebrity Constellation, we packed in a little bit of everything. We hit up trivia, lounged on the pool deck, and just soaked in being out on the Mediterranean. But the best part was walking back to our stateroom to find it decorated. We were celebrating our 10-year anniversary on this trip, and Celebrity really made it feel special. It was formal night as well, so we got all dressed up for an incredible dinner. Hit up the ABBA sing-along, which was a blast and can't be missed on any cruise we're on. Enjoyed a few more drinks, and wrapped up the night with some karaoke.
And everywhere I go, people know the part I play.
Perfect sea day. The next morning, we woke up as we were arriving in Salerno. But as the time passed, we noticed the ship was slowing way down, far away from the port. We were a bit confused about what was happening. It wasn't a tender port, and then we started pulling away from the coast.
So right about this part of the video, we would be showing you really cool stuff from the Amalfi Coast. But, unfortunately, we didn't make it to Amalfi.
I'm really bummed. I already spent time crying about it. I was looking forward to Amalfi Coast more than probably any of the stops. I mean, I'm looking forward to Dubrovnik, but I really wanted Amalfi Coast. And I had booked a speedboat tour to go along the coast, stop at a couple of the towns, and it was expensive, and we weren't able to make it.
I'm sure it would have been some breathtaking footage, and I wish we could share that with you, but unfortunately, the reality of travel is you're not always in control. There's no guarantees, especially on a cruise ship, that you're going to make your ports.
Apparently, there were 45-mile-per-hour gusts of wind, and the captain made a choice, safety first, and decided not to take us into the port.
We have to trust the captain's judgment on that, and we had to sail away. Unfortunately, since we didn't get off the ship, we also missed out on our excursion that Cheyenne had planned. A very expensive one. When we called to let them know we weren't going to make it there, they told us that other people had already made it. Their tour proceeded on schedule, and that they would not refund our money.
Yeah, they said that, it's the captain's choice to not port, but it's not their fault. And they proceeded with the tour as planned, and other cruisers were on the boats, so they weren't able to refund us. So I think that either the travel insurance that I purchased or through my credit card, I have a travel credit card that comes with, as a benefit, it comes with travel insurance. So I'll put in a claim for our tour because it was an expensive tour in Amalfi Coast. I'll put in a claim and we should be able to recoup the money that we spent on that, because I didn't book it through Celebrity, and that's a risk that you take. If you don't book through the cruise ship directly, you take a risk that you're not going to get refunded, and I saved a lot of money doing it that way, but I'm going to have to do that paperwork. Instead, we had another sea day, and I got to tell you, I'm ready to get off the ship. I want to go and explore. It seems like forever ago that we're off the ship exploring.
It's funny because we were really looking forward to that first sea day because it felt like a break.
Yeah.
After having done Rome for 2 days, and then we were in Cinque Terre and Florence, and we needed a break from our break. So the sea day we looked forward to, and we really enjoyed being on the ship and not having anything scheduled to do, but really looking forward to getting off the ship at Amalfi and a second sea day in a row. I mean, typically we really love sea days.
Yeah.
Just do whatever you want and hang out by the pool or catch some trivia, watch some shows. or just
lay in bed all day.
Just take a nap. We really like that.
So we're currently playing the waiting game with our travel and credit card insurance to see if they'll cover the loss. Have you ever made a travel insurance claim? How'd it go? Let us know in the comments. We could really use the tips. We decided to make the absolute best of it. We spent most of the day out by the pool, reading, soaking up the gorgeous sun, and treating ourselves to plenty of ice cream and cocktails. After dinner, we headed to the theater for the onboard show, Rock City. It was absolutely amazing and the perfect high energy way to end an unexpected but ultimately wonderful second day at sea.
Early on day 6 of the cruise, day 10 of our trip, we woke as the ship made its way through the Strait of Messina. It was really cool seeing Sicily on one side and mainland Italy on the other as we cruised through the narrow strip of water. We pulled into the port of Messina. Ship was docked by 7:15 as we were enjoying breakfast at the buffet. Shalane had booked a bus transfer to take us to Taormina, a hilltop town about an hour's drive south along the coast. We disembarked from the ship and made the very short walk to where we would meet the bus. We hopped on and set off on a very scenic ride. We passed through what seemed like an endless series of tunnels. We exited the highway and began the ascent on an extremely windy, steep, uphill road. This may appear to be a 5-year-old's doodle, but it's the actual road. Many of the hairpin turns were so tight, the bus took up the entire street, requiring oncoming traffic to stop and wait as we cleared them. Our bus driver would honk the horn as we approached to warn other drivers. We drive off-road trails and steep shelf roads all the time. This scored high on the pucker scale. Once near the top, we got off the bus and rode an elevator 7 floors to an overlook that would lead us into the town. We had to stop and take in the views of the coast and Mount Etna. After being tempted by a €99 Ferrari test drive, we walked into town and quickly headed for the ancient theater of Taormina. We had purchased skip-the-line tickets for this, and they worked like a charm. We walked right in. Built by the Greeks in the 3rd century BC and rebuilt 400 years later by the Romans, it is carved right into the hilltop. Still in use today as an entertainment venue, it seats about 10,000 people, making it the 2nd largest theater in Sicily. After exploring the ancient theater, we grabbed some lunch and leisurely explored the rest of Taormina. This town is an endless series of quaint buildings, narrow streets, and alleyways. We hope to come back here one day. It's so charming, and we'd love to spend a few more days enjoying it. Time for us to head back and meet up at the tour bus. We boarded and sat back as the driver maneuvered through a very tight parking garage. Then it was back down the windy road, onto the freeway, and back to the port. After returning to the ship, we decided to wind down with some martinis and enjoy the views as Constellation slipped out of port and onto our next destination. That night, the theater was hosting a special late-night, adults-only performance called Illyria. A somewhat edgy production with jokes and dialogue not suitable for children under 18. We found it to be very entertaining. The costumes, dancing, singing, and acrobatics definitely kept our attention. Thank you so much for joining us on this trip. There is still plenty more to come. In our next video, we head towards Montenegro on our final sea day of the cruise, and then take a rough ride on a speedboat as we explore Kotor. You don't want to miss it.